Welcome to your Unit 3 set of videos. Make sure you know exactly what you need to do for this video, and let's go ahead and get started. Unit 3 videos. You're gonna learn about the post-classical era. Yeah! Alrighty, so for today, we are looking at Muhammad and the Rise of Islam, Part 2, with these notes here. So, our objective, number 1, how did post-classical civilizations gain, consolidate, maintain, and lose their power? Number 2, why was it important to understand who would rule the Islamic Empire after the death of Muhammad? And then lastly, what is the key differences between Shia and Sunni? So let's go ahead and get started here. So we last left off on our part 1 notes, looking at Muhammad and kind of introing the Islamic Empire. In class, we should have looked at how the various Islamic empires were divided, and for these notes, we're going to just kind of continue off of that idea. So really quickly, just another overview of Islam. So around 600, a new monotheistic religion, right, began called Islam. It was founded by the Prophet Muhammad in the Arabian city of Mecca after the Hijrah, I believe, to Medina. Muhammad gained converts and then returned back to Mecca. Then lastly, Muslims believe in these 5 pillars of Islam that you see right here on the screen. And if you feel like it might kind of help you understand this religion more, go ahead and take some notes on these, or on this picture, I should say. So looking at Islam after Muhammad. So when Muhammad died in 632, the Muslim community elected a new leader called the Caliph, or the successor, the leader, the ruler of the Islamic faith. And we've already looked at this before. The first 4 caliphs all knew Muhammad and promised to stay true to the Quran and Muhammad's message. The first caliph was Muhammad's friend and father-in-law, Abu Bakr. His goal was to keep Muslims united under his government, and his government is called a caliphate. He used jihad, or the idea of a religious war or some sort of reclaiming of the Islamic religion for your own personal sake, and it's kind of like this idea of a personal struggle. So he used this idea of jihad to control and expand the Muslim empire. The empire expanded under the next caliphs. And we've already, once again, looked at this before in class, but here's just another reminder. So Muhammad was able to get most of the Arabian Peninsula underneath the Islamic faith, and then you have the rest of the caliphs kind of expanding pretty far out throughout the Middle East, primarily Northern Africa, and some parts of Europe. So during the rightly guided caliphates, the Islamic Empire expanded Dar al-Islam, which means the areas where Islam is practiced. The caliphs use Sharia law to govern the empire. Sharia just means laws of Islam. The caliphate never forced non-Muslims to convert, especially if you were considered to be the book of the people. And reminder, book of the people were Christians or Jews. So if you were part of Christianity or Judaism, you were not forced to convert to Islam. So the whole entire goal of Islam during this time was to not force anyone to be part of this religion. And they did allow religious tolerance, meaning that anyone could practice their own religion as long as they paid taxes to the entire caliphate. But if they were practicing Muslims, then they did not have to pay these taxes. So let's look at a couple of these empires here. I apologize, I will unfortunately butcher these names. But first we're going to look at the Umayyad Empire. So the first caliph after Muhammad, Ali, He died in 661. This led to a civil war for control of the empire. The clan that came to power started the Umayyad Empire. And the rise of this empire led to a division in Islam. And this division is very, very key, especially to today's world. This division was about a lot of different things, but mainly it was about how the caliphs were elected and how they were associated with Muhammad's family. So now you have these two different sects or two different parts of Islam or religions of Islam, or two different ways, of how to practice Islam. There you go. Called the Sunnis and the Shias. So we're going to look at the left-hand side, the Shias first. So Shia Muslims rejected this Umayyadan empire and clan that was ultimately taking over. The Shias believed, that the caliph must come directly from Muhammad's bloodline. That if you were not related to Muhammad, then you could not be the ruler of this religion. But on the flip side, the Sunni Muslims, they accepted the rule of this new empire. And they believed that a caliph should follow Muhammad's example, but they don't have to be direct relatives of Muhammad. So here I just have, I think this is slightly outdated. I think this graph right here is from 2000, I want to say 15. But here you can see exactly how the Sunni and Shia split is currently, within the past 5-6 years, in the Middle East. Right? So the Sunnis are all in the green and the Shias are all in the red. And this, to be quite honest, definitely does explain some of the current tensions that are going on, not only within the Middle East, but also the Middle East and the United States. So the Umayyads expanded the empire, which brought wealth and new Islamic converts as well. In 750, the Umayyad Empire was overthrown by another clan or another caliph leader, and their family name was the Abbasids. And under the Abbasids, the Islamic Empire grew to its greatest extent, to the point where it was actually surpassing the Roman Empire. So the Abbasid Empire lasted from 750 to 1258, which is a lot of time. The Abbasid Caliphate built a strong government bureaucracy to rule their empire. And Muslim merchants expanded wealth by trading across Africa, the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea. Wealth from trade led to their golden age, where they had the greatest achievements in science and math, medicine, architecture. This is where they formally developed toothbrushes, for example, etc. And that's where we will end it for today. So, what do we learn? In terms of the Islamic Empire, right, they were able to create the Islamic religion. Number 2, it was important to establish some sort of authority within the Islamic faith after the death of Muhammad. Number 3, Shias and Sunnis differ on many things, but one key point is who the ruler of the Islamic Empire should be. Congratulations, you are done with this video. Once again, make sure you understand exactly what you need to do for it, and have a fantastic day.